Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, joined by James for our post-match reaction to the 2-2 draw with Leeds at Ellen Road. James, first of all, what's your thoughts on the game?
Fair result, I think. Really hotly contested game as I expected it to be. I went for a 1-1 draw in the predictions, ended up being 2-2. I didn't think it'd be as open as it was. I thought it'd be a lot more ugly, but it was actually a decent game for the neutrals, to be honest. And I'd say it was a fair result. I think we did do enough to deserve the point. I don't think we would have deserved the win, but I certainly wouldn't have begrudged it. And I think we really, if we'd have been a bit more astute, I think we should have maybe hung on for the win.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a 1-0, so I thought again it would be quite a cagey affair. But like you said, it was just so open. It was end to end as well. And on reflection, it's a little bit annoying we didn't get the win because we were leading twice, and obviously another error from Keane. But I think it's a fair result, like you said. I don't think we did anything to overly say we deserved to win the game. And looking at the stats, to be fair, it was quite an even game. Same amount of shots, chances created are the same. They beat us on possession, but I mean, I think that was always going to be the case against Leeds.
Yeah, that was going to happen.
That was always going to happen.
Performances, you've got to do that job.
Yeah, I mean, the main takeaway I did find is that the crowd really did play up for Leeds as well. The crowd were loud, they were energetic. Same with the Everton fans that were travelling, of course. But Leeds fans were really up for this game, as we thought they probably would be.
Yeah, definitely. Out of interest, I know we were talking about the home fans and the influence of that. I'm not sure for anyone out there who was watching, who went to Goodison last week for the home game against Southampton, how much we influenced the referee, but I feel the referee was very biased in their favour today.
Yeah, I must admit the referee was one I was going to get onto. There were at one point, I'd say he was brandishing cards left, right, and centre, but I did feel like the crowd were probably influencing him a little bit too much, especially towards the second half, the end of the second half. There were a couple where their players were getting away with stuff that he was brandishing yellow cards for. Seamus Coleman, I didn't think deserved his yellow card. I know Leon Osman, I don't know who was commentating on yours, but Leon Osman was saying it's for kicking the ball away. I don't think it was, because it looked like Coleman had already committed to kicking the ball, so it'd have been a bit harsh for that. Obviously, Digne got his for throwing the ball away deliberately.
I'll be honest, as big a fan as I am of Digne, I feel like that played a part in costing us this, because I think as soon as he got booked, I think Raphinha had a free run on him, and that's how it ended up being the way it was. And we could easily have lost after conceding that second goal, by the way. It was just Digne, as an experienced member of this team, needs to not be doing silly things like that. And I noticed, to be fair, Rafa Benitez made a little note in his little notebook as soon as Dean did that, which I'm hoping he's going to have a quiet word with him over that, because as a senior member of the team, you don't want to see him picking up silly yellow cards, which in turn hindered him in terms of being able to do his job on Raphinha.
Yeah, I feel since then he just didn't want to get too close to him, did he? And I must admit, I thought some of the Leeds players might have been going down a little bit too easily.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were, but like you said, like if without the yellow card, he'd have been a bit closer. But I think he just couldn't risk it, could he? And he slid. There was a slide tackle towards the end that I thought was a bit risky when he's already on a yellow. But I agree with you. I feel like if it wasn't for the silly yellow card, he could have been a bit closer to Raphinha, who had a really good game. His record against us, I said it in the pre-match.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, he scored in every single game we've played them in since they've been promoted. And if I can remember rightly, his goals last season were good goals as well. He's a really good player for them. I really rate him.
I'll be honest. One, I'm infuriated because he always scores against us, and I don't know why we don't ever seem to be able to lay a glove on him. And it really annoys me because, you know, it's happened to us twice against them already before this game, and you'd think we've sort of put a plan in place to deal with that.
Yeah, like I said in the pre-match, he was one to watch, and I think it was pretty obvious. Like, I don't want to, do Leeds a discredit, but he's probably their best attacking option, other than Bamford. Definitely. But I'd say he's even better than Bamford attacking wise. I don't know how this wasn't spotted. I Speaking about Bamford, I thought straight from the off, I thought Yerry Mina had a really good game today. And straight from the first 2 minutes where they got involved in something, and Mina, after with the hand in the face, and you saw Mina on the camera go like that to one of the Everton players after his thing with Bamford. I thought Mina was just constantly just winding him up throughout the game, which I actually don't mind. He's very good at it, Yerry Mina, and
Mina does his job well.
Yeah, he's really good. Like, not only does he defend well, but he makes sure he gets right in the attacker's heads. And I think Bamford struggled quite a bit during this game with him.
Yeah, he did. I think, like I say, I think one of the major issues was, I think we've spoke about Luca Dean's one of the best left backs getting forward, but he does have defensive flaws, and I think that showed today. I think Raphinha has him on toast. And I think it definitely wasn't one of Luca Dean's better games. This, I think, like I say, I think he needs to rein it in with the petulance as well. The yellow card for throwing the ball away, the little snappy tackles he does, like where players are going nowhere and he always seems to kick them when they don't need to be kicked. I think those are the kind of things, like, for all the positives Luca Dean brings to the team, I think there are flaws in his game that he needs to iron out.
Yeah, I mean, the throwing the ball away, when he did it, I thought, there's just no need. And then when the ref gave the yellow, I said, there's really no need. And Osman said he knows the rules. Rules are the rules. It's not like it's one of those where the ref could, it's argumentative. It was a clear yellow card throwing the ball away. And I don't think Digne had a case to complain. But we'll mention the goals. So obviously, talk us through the goals, what you thought about them.
Their opener our opener was obviously the penalty. It was a penalty. Like I say, the ref did his best to make sure it wasn't. But VAR, in fairness, decides nowadays, and the VAR just obviously decided correctly. But like I say, the referee was doing his utmost to give them the result they wanted today. And like I say, I think that is very much down to the return of fans. I have a feeling that the referees have been instructed, albeit it's not the right thing to do. I think a lot of referees have been instructed to favour the home sides, albeit maybe slightly, in these games where the fans have come back. But, like I say, the VAR stuck to the rules, penalty, well taken, 1-0 up, that's a really good position for us to be in. And it was the position that you in your predictions, Connor, actually said that we would be in, which that's the disappointing thing. I think under Ancelotti last season, we'd probably been horrific to watch and probably got the 1-0 win in this situation. But I think the issue I have, of course, like, this is the second game in a row now where Michael Keane's made a bit of a hash of, give hands in the other team a goal. And, for all these shouts about, all the Agent Rafa stuff, I think at this stage we must be asking Agent Michael Keane. It's like, I don't know what is going on. Like, I know what it is with Michael Keane, and it's very harsh, but he's one of the most mentally weak players I've seen. Like, he can't, as soon as fans return to stadiums, his head goes. He was a nervous wreck before the lockdown started a year and a half ago. He seemed to come back into a really good run of form without fans in the ground. And now it seems that he's reverted to type in terms of making countless errors and panicking a lot on the ball with fans in the stadium. And that is just, he's he's just the same age as Luca Dean. Again, flaws in the game that you think at the age of 28 you'd be starting to iron out your game with your experience, but it's just not changing. And for me, I think Michael Keane shouldn't really last much longer at Everton. I think this, obviously fans back on the ground. Now, we're starting to see that long term he just isn't good enough. He's got too many mistakes in him. And, that proved for the first goal. Well taken goal, but, that comes from an error that he needs to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I said to you, didn't I, last in the extra time, I said, you asked who would I drop, and I said Michael Keane, but then I was like, but I'd feel bad because he's only made one mistake, and people out there be like, you can't drop a player from one mistake. I really wish I'd doubled down now and said, no, drop him for the next game. I'm looking at it now, because it's the second game in a row he's cost us really
Well,
points.
someone, I think it was Terry in the chat actually, while we were watching this game, said it's actually 3 because he was terrible in that 5-0 against City as well.
Oh yeah, he was. He tried to like dribble it out from defence, didn't he? And got caught at one point. Tried to take on half the City squad from out
I
of
think he
centre
laid
back.
the ball on perfectly for De Bruyne at one point to score.
Jeez. Yeah, I forgot about the City.
I think we all
Yeah.
tried our best to forget that.
Well, I was gonna say it felt like a friend. It felt like we were giving them a testimonial game. They had the Blossoms playing there and everything, and it looked like we just turned up with a testimonial attitude for that. Yeah, I mean, I really wish I had doubled down and said get him out because surely he can't be one of the centre backs in the next. I know we've got Huddersfield, but in the next league game, surely gets dropped then if Godfrey's back.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? It's. Well, for me, it should be a bit more than that now. I think we should be actively looking to sell Michael Keane. I think he's been here 4 years. He hasn't kicked on. He hasn't kicked on from the player I saw in his final season at Burnley when we signed him. I don't think it's terrible for him to stay here. And we're running out of time to make any kind of money on him. So if we know what's good for us, we'll either be pushing him for a deal before the deadline, which I don't think we will. I don't know if that'll come to pass, but I think definitely next summer we should be looking to sell. Because long term, he's just not good enough for Everton.
Well, there were rumours we were looking for a centre-back during this summer, weren't there? And I mean, at first I couldn't really understand because we've got so many centre-backs, but like now that I'm watching, if this is the Michael Keane that's turning up, it probably is best to get another centre-back. And then, like you said, probably not this window because this window is a bit tight, but January or next summer, look to push him on.
Absolutely. Another one there in the group chat there, Connor Lewis Hawkins. DCL needs to get better at finishing. He missed 3 good chances. I agree with that. I mean, he took his penalty well, but it's so regular that we see this. I think Calvert-Lewin gets a lot of good chances. I think even more so recently we've been giving him better service and he keeps missing chances.
Well, yeah, David McCaffrey here said this. He said Calvert-Lewin misses a sitter one-on-one yet again. 2 brilliant chances to make it 3-4. How does he miss these chances?
This is the thing. I think, he's probably one of the best headers of a ball in Europe, but he's just not a good finisher with his feet. I mean, I've seen him. He scored a couple, and I thought you think he's coming into it a bit and he's growing, but he just Wormy Spoons nails it. DCL fluffs so many 1v1s. How many times are you going to get one-on-one with the keeper and just hit it straight at him? Like, does he know where the corner is?
Yeah, and one-on-ones is his major problem. I noticed, like, even last season, I noticed this. Like, playing to his feet is probably one of the worst things you can do for him because, like you said, in aerially, he's one of the best, in Europe. But at his feet, I don't know if it's a confidence or just an ability thing. The amount of times I've seen him hit it straight at the keeper one-on-one. And he's got the power as well. Like, I wouldn't mind, but he's got the power behind him because every time he hits it at the keeper, it rebounds, off. But his one-on-ones is something he needs to practice on.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. Inky Squid says there's only so much Dunk can do. DCL has enough for finishing. To be fair, neither was Duncan Ferguson, really. But I think he was still better than what Calvert-Lewin is now in terms of finishing with his feet. I think Calvert-Lewin's composure in 1v1 situations just isn't good enough. That's not to say he's not good enough for Everton because he's delivering the goal output to suggest he is, but he's got to improve with his feet.
Yeah, I mean that's the one part of that. I know obviously a couple of seasons ago people were saying his weakness was that he dropped too deep, and he's improved massively since then.
Absolutely.
But the next step for him is to focus on his feet. and his finishing and his composure a bit. Someone else put it here, I can't remember the name, but it was about maturity, and maybe it is a thing of as he gets a bit older and mature, his composure will get a little bit better. Well, hopefully, anyway.
Yeah, but I think some people just have it and some don't. I'm not sure if Calvert-Lewin has. I think the likes of a Harry Kane, I think already had that composure at Calvert-Lewin's age. I think there's other players who Everton have had who've had that composure at Calvert-Lewin's age. Even we've had other players that Calvert-Lewin's 24, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had players who we brought in younger than that. Some maybe a little bit older, but the same age there or thereabouts who have been better finishers. Lukaku had that when we first signed him at 19 or 20. Some players don't have it in them to be a natural finisher, and I don't think Calvert-Lewin is. And I'm not sure how far we'll be able to coach that into him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a conversation here in the chat between Ludwig and a couple of others. Actually suggesting Moise Kean play instead, which I'm not too. I mean, Moise Kean hasn't exactly had a great Everton past to sort of say it, but would that be something you'd do? Would you sort of put Moise Kean in?
No.
I don't think dropping in for Keane would be the right.
No, because you're dropping someone who, regardless of his flaws, he has got a good attitude, Calvert-Lewin, whereas Moise Keane's got a wretched attitude.
And his build-up play, Calvert-Lewin helps in the build-up play. The one major thing for me with Moise Kean is when you play the ball into him at his feet, in the hope to build something from him, it's really bad. It just ricochets off him. It reminds me of shades of, remember when Lukaku had that stinker at United where every ball into his feet was just being ricocheted off and people were jumping on it. Moise Kean reminds me of that. He just can't control the ball at his feet. The Salford game, I noticed that quite a bit. Yeah. But like you said as well, it's attitude as well, and I think DCL has a good attitude, and he gets into the positions to create the chances as well. I think Iwobi played him in at one point. I think it was in the first half. That was a really good ball by Iwobi to play him in. I think Leon Osman was saying it.
He's got to finish that.
Yeah. And I think Osman was trying to make the case that Calvert-Lewin just didn't see it coming, but should have been finishing that because it was a really good ball by Iwobi.
Yeah, but that's another good point, though. What he made there is that Calvert-Lewin didn't make the run either. I think if he wants to bag more goals, which I don't doubt that he does, he's got to start timing those runs better as well. And I mean, I'm not surprised he might not have had the most confidence in Iwobi to pick the right pass, because I was as astonished as he probably was that Iwobi picked the perfect pass. But I thought Iwobi was all right today. I don't think he was the worst. And I thought he made an impact certainly for Demarai Gray's goal, which was well taken as well. I thought
Gray's goal was good.
Yeah, took it really well.
Better than his knee slide, bless him.
What?
You see his knee slide afterwards. He knee slid and he just his knees hit the floor and it looked like a car crash. He just tumbled over. He went for the knee slide. As soon as his knees hit the floor, his whole body buckled over. It was a really tough looking knee slide when he was celebrating.
But yeah, it was a really well taken goal. But like I say, Iwobi played okay, and I think that was an excellent pass. It's really disappointing that Calvert-Lewin hasn't taken more of these chances. Again, the one from it was a cross from Demarai Gray. He played a little 1-2, and again, like you say, Calvert-Lewin was great in the build-up to that goal, to the opportunity, sorry. And the cross comes in, and he's got to put that away. Right in front of him. It was good service. He's got to put that away. And, you can guarantee you, if that was a couple of yards off the ground and he dives onto it and heads it, it goes in.
Yeah. Well, the one in Southampton, the header he scored was quite low down, and I was thinking that's typical DCL to try and get your head on it at all costs. Because with his feet, I'd be a little bit more. Skeptical. I wouldn't be as confident. Yeah. That says it all over, really. That he, if it was heading ability, if it was heading height, there was no doubt. But yeah, I mean, Demarai Gray again, really great game by him. Really, really good. He's just a breath of fresh air in this Everton side.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's nice to just finally see a player who can run in this team.
Yeah, with a bit of pace as well.
Yeah, it's just a willing runner who can beat a player. It's not rocket science.
No, and when he gets in the chances as well, he doesn't hesitate on the ball. If he can, he'll go for it, try and cut himself in. But if not, he just whips it in. There's no messing around. There's no stopping and trying to hold. Try and fall. When your players stop sometimes, and you can see the cogs going in their head of what do I do now. But he's not one of those. He just get it down, whip it in. Really direct. He's a really direct type of player, which I think will suit what clearly we're going to aim for this season, which is direct football.
And I don't have anything against direct football.
No.
It's most effective for us.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of it as well.
I think for me, it's just an issue with Calvert-Lewin. I just want to see him get better with his feet and, start finding the corner with his shots. I don't think he just seems to struggle to shoot accurately with his feet.
I've noticed a lot is straight at the keeper, and you're like anywhere left or right of him, and it's a goal. But straight at him is a bit.
I've not seen him play shots well, but on the other hand, though, I mean, we're talking, Calvert-Lewin's 24 here. I mean, we look at last week, I think Leicester won the game from a goal from Vardy. That the kind of goal I'm saying I'd like to see Calvert-Lewin score more of. Good technique with his feet. Jamie Vardy at Calvert-Lewin's age was playing in the Conference, so, it's one of those, he could still grow into a better player technically, and if he works hard enough, I think he can. But we just need to, get him. I think we just need to sort of nurture him into a better finisher, because at the moment he is costing us games with the chances that he misses. But equally, he wins us games as well when he does that, and that's the difference. That is why everyone goes on about the difference of having a good striker and an average striker is, it's paramount to how well you do in the season.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, I've got every confidence that he will grow as well, just because of how much he grew from his old critics of, he's not involved enough, and now he is. He seems to be quite, I know it's hard to tell without knowing him on a personal level, but he seems to have the right attitude.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he strikes me as one of the Everton players in that squad that has the right attitude about it. So hopefully, that's something to improve on. A couple of people here, there's still a mention of Moise Kean, who obviously made an appearance. I mean, I'd say what are your thoughts on his appearance, but I think he put in a tackle when he first came on that led to a chance. But bar that, I didn't see an awful lot of him because he was only on for 5 minutes, was it?
5 minutes, like that. Yeah.
And towards the back end. Yeah, and towards the back end of that added time, it was our backs were a bit against the wall with Leeds, so it wasn't like we saw much of him attacking wise. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it. If a good price comes in for Keane, I think probably is best to sell. But I don't think he's anywhere near a good, take Calvert-Lewin out. I think he's just a player. We'll see if Calvert-Lewin's tired or Richarlison's tired. I don't see him as being dropped. I don't know. Maybe he'll play him in the Huddersfield game. That's something he might be thinking of to give them a bit of a rest.
Yeah, I think I would like to see ideally Keane leave and another striker come in who can, do battle with Calvert-Lewin, preferably someone, like I say, who's a bit better finishing with the feet. I think someone who gives us something different.
Yeah, I mean, we are after that hot, but I don't think that's what you were hoping for.
No, I'll be honest. As people will be like, "What are you on about, James?" Here, if they're in the air, this, but I'd actually go for Rondon on loan or something. Just even if a stopgap, I'd actually think Rondon, when he was last in the Premier League only 2 years ago, he was actually pretty decent. Not special, but I think he'd do the job well.
Yeah, and he's not going to take DCL out of the side. He's just going to play as a rotation player, and for that, especially if we offer him a similar deal to Joshua King, where we give him like a 6-month deal, like 12-month deal, and then at the end of it, we reassess it. Sort of like we did with Josh King, I wouldn't be against that. And then if it didn't work out, we cut our losses. what I wouldn't want to do is sign him and give him a 3-year deal, because I feel like that'd be so. I feel like that's the type of attitude that's got us in the mess, that we're in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, a couple of things I noticed. What were your thoughts on the substitution for Demarai Gray? A lot of people here were saying they couldn't believe he'd been subbed.
Well, obviously it's about resting him. It wasn't so much that he was subbed; it was more who he was subbed for. I mean, Fabian Delph, I don't think he necessarily played badly, but it's just it wasn't the right change. I think Delph on for somebody else, maybe even like a Tyrone Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison. Like if they were going to do that, I think Gray needed the rest, but I think we should have had more attacking changes as well. I think it was a sign that we were maybe settling for the draw, and yeah, I don't know if it was the right move. I think again, if we were defending a 1-goal lead, if we were still in that position, but I don't think we were when that change was made. I think that was after the second Leeds goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have been going for the win there, I think.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because the game was quite open. It was quite open, and like I know, people are saying, and it is a good result on reflection, draw, and it's a fair result. But I didn't feel like we were ever, backs against the wall. We were holding out. I feel like either team could have won it. So when I saw that he brought Fabian Delph on, I thought it was a bit disappointed, because at that point I thought this could go either way to either team. So I was a little bit disappointed. And like you said, it's not just that he subbed him; it's who he brought on for. Like you said, I don't think he had a poor game. That slide tackle towards the end, they showed one replay of it, and it looked like it was a foul. And then from the other one, he wins the ball. It's pretty obvious. But that gave me a bit of nerves when he slid in towards the end. I was like, oh, please have won the ball, because that was the last thing we needed, is a last-minute penalty being given against us. But he did, yeah.
Of all people, he's like widely disliked as well.
I was going to say it wouldn't have done him any favours to come on and done that. I mean, on reflection, when I looked at the second replay, it was actually a really good tackle by him. I'm not too keen on players going aground in your penalty box unless you really, really need to, but it was a good tackle. Chris Quen's put here that Richarlison's work rate blows him away. Yeah. I'm still shocked he plays full 90s for us after the summer he's had. I mean, his work rate and his fitness is unreal.
Yeah, he's absolute gold dust for us.
Yeah, and to be fair, I was saying this to my dad when I was watching it as well. Like, he had a knock. I think it was the first 10 minutes, wasn't it? Had a knock in his knee. He was hobbling a little bit, and that sort of made me worry, because like not only is he doing incredibly well to be playing all through the summer, all through last season, and now, but he's a player that gets knocked about a bit as well. He's not a player that he gets involved in tackles, but he's also quite frequently fouled. So apparently Benitez said they're going to manage his game management, which I think probably translates to I don't think he'll be playing in the cup game. But I mean, against Huddersfield, I wouldn't say he needs to play. You'd hope we've still got enough quality in the squad that he doesn't need to play then.
You'd like to think so, but remember we needed them to get past Lincoln 2 years ago, so...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm open. I think Anthony Gordon's going out, isn't he, on loan?
Where to?
I heard rumours before from, what's the fella? Is it El Bobble on Twitter?
El Bobble, yeah.
Yeah, I heard him say that he thinks they're going to off Gordon on loan. And normally, I know there's a lot of in-the-know counts that are a bit, but he tends to be on the money. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I sort of hope not, though, because I'd quite like to see Gordon stay and play a bit more. He said that the club are talking to prospects who will benefit his potential. So there's not one team yet, but the club are looking to put him out on loan. It'd be a bit of a shame, but I mean, as long as he's guaranteed first-team football, because when he went to Preston last year, I thought this could be it for him. And I've got a couple of Preston fans who are mates, and they said that it was really weird because he'd play one game, have a really good game, and then you wouldn't see him again. Which is really confusing, but I feel like that was a bit like when he played for us. He'd have good games and you wouldn't see him picked again.
And get dropped, yeah.
Right, it's a really strange thing with him. But if he's not available for the Huddersfield game, I mean, looking at our bench, which by the way is worryingly lacking attacking options. It looked like Moise Kean had come in for him in the cup game, or Townsend. They're the only two real attacking options we had on our bench today.
Yeah, it's concerning. We need to get a move on in the transfer market, because I think the squads we've got this season still isn't good enough.
Yeah, and that just shows it. I think we've got 4 defenders on the bench. It's a little bit. It's better than the 2 keepers scenario we had knocking last year that got some complaint. But we do need to start moving on that. And it looks like the more and more I hear and the more he goes on Twitch, the more I'm going to assume James Rodriguez is the one to be leaving out of him and Keane. Because every Twitch session he does is an insight into his Everton career somehow. Which, by the way, is one of the worst things you could do. It's really bad for the club's PR when you've got one of the more big signings saying that he doesn't know who the team are facing at the weekend. But it looks like he might be out, and then we can bring in a few more options, possibly even a right back.
And we definitely need a right back. That's right at the top of the priority list, in my opinion.
100%. Someone put in the comments that Seamus Coleman cost us the game today. A bit further up.
I don't think that was the case. I don't think he was great, but he weren't particularly bad. I personally thought Digne was far worse than Coleman was.
As you say, I didn't see anything from Coleman that made me think, he was anywhere near bad. His shot that he had towards the end on his left foot from 25 yards out was ambitious, to say the least.
That was laughable.
I don't know what went through his head when he did that. If that had gone in, that'd have been unreal. But I didn't think he had a bad game. He was one of 5 Everton players that picked up a card, though, towards the end when the ref went a bit mad. Out of curiosity, who was your man of the match?
Everton or them?
We'll do both.
Raphinha, by a country mile. For us, it'd have to be Demarai Gray.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree. To be fair, Raphinha was just a pain in the backside, especially in the second half. And like you said, once Digne got the booking, that was it. He was just an absolute relentless thorn in our side. But I'd also go with Demarai Gray. I thought every time he got the ball, he just looks dangerous, and he pushes teams as well when he runs at them. I thought the midfield today had a really good game. Demarai and Allen, I thought both of them had a good game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought the midfield, I think both of them have been strong in both games so far.
Yeah.
Considering the job they had against their midfield, I think they did that relatively well.
Yeah, Demarai, I know you're a big fan of him, so I know you're probably only going to agree. But it's so nice to see a midfielder get the ball in the middle, not panic, and really think about what he's going to do next, and have the ability to shake off people coming at him as well with his dribbling.
Yeah, the strength is it's crucial, and I think we need many more midfielders like that. And they're proper Everton midfielders, players who won't be knocked off the ball, and players who can hold their own, who a player tries to go past them, they can go toe-to-toe with them.
I think
it's imperative to have more of them.
His physical presence was good. I also thought Allen had a really good game as well. He had a great game, but he always a bit. I think he was lucky at one point not to get a yellow with the mood the ref was in, where the ball had gone through and he just kicked out. Purely because the mood the ref was in, I thought he could have ended up going in the book as well. But I feel like in every game he plays, he's going to have at least 1 or 2 tackles that are a bit niggly. But you expect, and I think that's sort of one thing people love about him, isn't it? He's a sort of socks down, he'll kick you, and he's not that fussed about it. But I thought both of them had a good game. The only player I thought I think the Digne after he got his card was way less effective, and then the only player I'd say had a bad game was Michael Keane. Just because again the mistake, and then just the mistake. The mistake alone puts it down in my eyes. But I saw someone.
He's got at least one of them in every game. And sometimes it costs us, sometimes it doesn't. It has in both of those games. Okay, we won the other one, but it's cost us a goal.
Yeah, and I think it was put in the chat. He's, for someone who can be caught out of position quite frequently, his recovery is poor. Which it is. He looked I know he's caught out of position, but he then looked like he panicked and he just was turned inside out very quickly. And there were a couple of times I noticed where, if he's on the shoulder of the attacker, he's not careful, the attacker's quite capable of just running around him. There were a couple of times I saw a ball go over the top of him, and he's not the fastest either, which is why I said in the pre-match I was a bit concerned about the pace of the back line.
Oh, definitely.
Even Holgate's faster than, I'd say he's faster than the pair of them. And I think we've mentioned it, haven't we? The idea would be to match one of them with someone who's a bit quicker. So Mina and Godfrey, I think, is the ultimate one that we'd all like to see.
I think we should have kept Holgate in the team instead of Keane alongside Mina for today's game. And, again, regarding whoever was coming in out of Mina or Godfrey, if it was Godfrey coming in, I'd have kept Keane for that reason. I think it's about getting the right balance, and I think Mina and Godfrey are comfortably the best pairing now. I think that's got to stand. That's got to stand true now.
Yeah,
but I think long term we do need another strong, imposing centre back, because you can't really trust Jerry Mina's fitness record, and like you say, Michael Keane's not been reliable enough.
Yeah, I think that is the way forward now. Well, we spoke about outgoings, and we spoke about, obviously, the obvious one is Rodriguez, and there's a couple of people here reckoning that he might be off to AC Milan. I don't know. Apparently, AC Milan have now quieted on it, but someone reckons that Inky's put, due to transfer rules, you can now only buy for 27 million. Ideally, what price do you think we would get for James Rodriguez?
About 15.
15. I'd take that.
I would.
For a free transfer as well, and his wages are, off the books. I think that'd be a good bit of business. I don't know if you saw this morning, we spoke about it. Newcastle are also apparently interested in him now.
And Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Sell him.
Do you think he'd go, though?
Yeah, Longstaff swap deal, who says no?
I said that in the first. I was like, Longstaff's definitely going to be involved in it. Oh, that'd be peak.
Who says no?
Oh, that'd be peak. I think I'd prefer the money. I mean, maybe if it was the other Longstaff brother, I'd be a little bit more inclined to agree with it. But I don't know. I will say this, if he goes, I wonder what we'll do about the number 10 role, because obviously I think Benitez quite likes his 4-2-3-1, but I don't think Gray's a number 10. I don't think Richarlison is. I know he seems to switch in game. You can see sometimes Richarlison's quite deep, but then most time it looks like a 4-4-2 when I was watching it today. But I don't know.
It's a 4-4-2. I like 4-4-2.
Same. I think it's the best. I think it's the best formation for us as well. We just don't have a number 10 either as well. I don't think it's Iwobi's best position. I'm not convinced on that. So I'd rather. I know we're after Joaquin Correa, who can play there. I think he'd actually. Do you know what? Watching how we set up, I think he'd suit it. Just because he can play as an attacker and drops deeper as a centre forward / cam. So I think in the number 10 role, he'd make more sense.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, obviously we've got Iwobi in his preferred position.
Honestly.
Again, Iwobi was on the wing today and he played well. Like, he needs to stop with that. Like, because every time he's played in the middle, he's crap.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played really. I thought the first half he was a bit quiet, but I don't think we were getting the ball out to him an awful lot. I think it's pretty obvious we're aiming for that left-hand side with Demarai Gray. But in the second half, there was a couple of times, like as well, we've mentioned the ball through. But there were a couple of times where he'd dribble his way out of trouble. He just looked like he played all right today. I can't, he's one of the ones who I can't really criticise. But I certainly agree. I don't think he's a central player. I'm not as convinced. Like I said to you the other day, the West Ham game is the only game I've ever seen him in where I've been nearly convinced that that's where he should play. But
even that is literally it.
right,
Like I say, I've seen him have a couple of good games on the wing, but even then, they're few and far between. I think, like I say, he started the season okay, but I'm not convinced it'll last because he's been consistently inconsistent his whole career so far.
Yeah, and I was saying today, if he had played that number 10 role, that would have been sort of make or break for him in terms of if he could have proved it himself there, we'd probably have played. Benitez would have probably been convinced, but he stuck him out on the wing instead. And I mean, it says every website you look at for the lineup looks like it's a 4-2-3-1, but watching it, I think it was a 4-4-2. Especially defending, you could see it when we went backwards and defended. There were two, flat four, and then we had Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin pressing. I mean, there are rumours now. Inky's just put in the chat that we have made a bid for Correa, and Hammers has been given permission to speak to Milan after disappointing the board and Prem fans internationally. I mean, I don't know where that's come from, other than obviously Inky. But I mean, Rodriguez to AC Milan wouldn't be bad for him. I think that's where he'd ultimately want to go. I think he wants to play in the top 4 European leagues, certainly. And I think he wants to play for a decent, AC Milan. Atletico was rumoured a couple of days ago because of his Instagram caption. I think they're the type of clubs he's thinking he'll go to.
But they've got to want him as well.
Yeah, ultimately, which, I mean, he's a good player, but there is still that doubt on his fitness. I think last season proved it. He wasn't exactly playing every game for us.
I think there should be doubts on his attitude as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite disappointed in the way he's gone about himself in the last couple, because when Benitez came in, there was rumours that they didn't get on. And then I thought, myself included, I thought maybe it was, one way and Benitez was seeing him out the club. But now I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Of Rodriguez just doesn't want to be here either. The Twitch stuff is, the more he does on Twitch, the more it's getting a bit. I don't think he's. I saw someone say this. PR was fantastic because he was getting fans on his side, but I'd say in the last couple of Twitch sessions he's done the opposite now, and fans are starting to click on.
Absolutely.
And just not knowing who your team plays for, I don't expect him to be an Everton. I don't expect him to be our biggest fan and get a tattoo of us on his arm or whatever. But you should at least know who your club's playing at the weekend. Just out of the fact that your employer work pride at the least, you should know who your team are playing. You know what I mean?
Disgrace, innit? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's absolutely boggling. Which, if I was Milan, like you said, I'd be a little bit worried about his attitude. Because I wouldn't want a player that is going to have that type of attitude. And his agent is Mendes as well, who is just as easily as Raiola is a puppeteer.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them know how to pull the strings of clubs.
Yeah, I think for clubs like us, I think it's in our best interest to avoid players who are on their books.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Brands is really close with Raiola, though, isn't he? Or something. I remember when we signed Keane.
I'm still waiting to see any evidence of that, because if that's the case, why didn't we get Dumfries?
Exactly. And why does Moise Kean look like every now and then change his Instagram to look like he's off then? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not convinced agents have got any real friends in football. To be honest, I'm very, very skeptical on agents in football.
I think they're a stain on football, personally.
Yeah, I think they're only in it for one person, and it's not even the players, it's themselves. But Collis King is put, you all keep questioning Mina, if not for him bullying a player that went for the header in the last minute, that goal, it would have been goal. I don't think anyone's questioning Mina. I think we've both said he's our best centre back.
I haven't got against Mina. I'm saying Mina along with Godfrey is the best pairing we've got defensively, and I thought Mina on this game in particular, I thought he was comfortably the best member of the back four.
Yeah, and he did really keep Bamford quiet, and that's the player I think he's on about. It's Bamford towards the end when that header. And he kept Bamford quiet all game and was also in his ear. I quite like how much of a wind-up he is. Mina, I really rate how much he gets under players' skins. Especially, I know he got a yellow card for it as well, but Bamford he only got ears for kicking out at Mina. And then I think Mina only got ears because he got up quickly and then I want to say grabbed him, but it looked like he was going to tickle Bamford when he got up and grabbed him. It wasn't an aggressive grab. It was weird. He got him around the waist, didn't he? And it was like, what are you doing? Which again, I mean, it was a bit of a silly yellow to get, but it was an odd one. A couple of people have said they're not that keen on a long staff. Inky's put that he'd rather have a snail.
Well, it's about the same thing, probably.
Well, yeah. Kieran, who's a Leeds fan, said he's disappointed. I wouldn't be we've said it, haven't we? The game could have gone either way. I think in reflection, both ways, a draw was a fair result. I think it was a fair result for Leeds and us.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Especially when you're countering one of their goals was a mistake on our half.
Yeah, it was poor, to be honest. I mean, their goal, the Raphinha goal, I still think we should have done more to plan against him because he's been the scourge of us twice last season. And, you should have learned something from that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's, it's not a player who's worried us before. He's constantly a threat to us. And we've said he's their best attacking outlet. So I don't know why he wasn't picked off sooner. But I don't know who Inky's on about here, but he said the people on Sky, Jeff, I think he means Jeff Stelling, said it was disgusting and he shamed the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't know. Rodriguez and his Twitch crap.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that he's it is really, really annoying and silly. Lewis Hawkins has said to you, similar to what you've just said, we didn't close down Raphinha quick enough for his goal.
Not at all.
No, and it was a good goal, but you could tell he'd had a while to, sort of pick where he was going to try and put it, which was a bit annoying.
I mean, no one was near him on the edge of the area, to close it down.
No, it was just, it was annoying. Like we said, it was. I think the most annoying bit was that after all of it as well, we'd gone ahead twice. You know what I mean? Game management. Why? I think Osman said it on commentary. After we went ahead, it looked like we were just going to shut up shop for the game when we were only 1 goal ahead, when we were 2-1 up. Which, I mean, I don't think we went fully shut up shop, but I think we did sort of back off slightly. But only ever so slightly. I don't think we've dropped off massively.
Yeah, I'd have liked us to have killed the game off. To be honest, I think we had it in us to do it.
Yeah. I'd have loved for us to just get one. I was saying to my dad when I was watching, we need one more goal, and then you can think about shutting up shop. But I'd have loved for us to kill the game off. I think a second goal would have took the wind out of their sails, and it'd have quieted down the crowd as well, which would have helped massively.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. This is the difference between where we end up finishing is if Calvert-Lewin takes one of those 2 chances, you're 3-1 up and you're thinking we've got this now, we've just got to see it out professionally. But as you know, you're always anything can happen with a goal in it. And obviously Raphinha scores a good goal and we threw 2 points away, which that's happened. We threw the Leeds away twice, like you say. It's if we want to get to where we want to get, you can't throw Leeds away twice like that.
No, and it is he put afterwards. A player like that you just can't give space to anywhere, but certainly there, you just can't give him space, can you?
If he asked himself to have a shot with acres of space anywhere on the pitch, he'd have probably asked for that.
Yeah, it was just frustrating. I've seen a couple people here though mentioning the hope of James Rodriguez. Obviously, we've spoke about him leaving, but if he doesn't, do you think now we're 2 games into Benitez, sort of getting a bit of an idea for the style that it looks like we're going to be implementing this season. Do you think he fits
No,
in? Yeah, I don't think he fits in with the style that we're going to go for now.
I don't think he's got the physicality for it.
No, and I'd struggle to think where we'd play him because I know Ancelotti liked him out on the wings last year, but I don't think that's not an option for me. I think sticking him out on the wings would be a really bad idea, especially with how quick our wing play's trying to be. You imagine like having Demarai Gray one side, blistering with pace, and then James Rodriguez the other.
It wouldn't work.
And centre mid's not an option either because I think he'd get bullied off the ball, and he'd get knocked, left, right, and centre. I don't even think he'd suit the number 10 role.
No.
Not in this one anyway, because I think he expects you to sort of play as a second striker.
But also he expects himself to not have to put a shift in, and I don't think we have room in our team for passengers when we don't have the ball.
Yeah, I think it was, it was highlighted last year. People, certain members of the media were calling him a luxury player, weren't they, for his lack of tracking back and defending. And I feel like we need all 11 pulling their socks up.
Everton players have to be grafters wherever you play on the pitch, whatever position you're in.
Yeah, and he's just. I mean, there's many. He's a very talented player, and he's had a great career, but he's not a grafter. He's not going to put in tackles left, right, and centre in the middle of the park, is he? We've made a bid for Harry Winks. Apparently. I mean, again, I'm the same. I don't think he would fit our midfield
at all. Not at all.
He's another one a bit like you said with Rodrigo. I think he gets knocked off the ball far too easily in this Everton squad.
No, ridiculous signing if that happens.
And he wouldn't. I don't think he'd come cheap either. I don't think Spurs are daft. They might want him out and be looking to sell him, but they're not going to let him go for cheap, are they?
Well, we're not going to buy him for dear because, we probably will because our management team is stupid. But yeah. Dotton's nailed it here in the chat. Every team seems to quietly acquire quality players. We don't seem to do that.
No. I mean, even the Ings for Villa, the most shocking thing I thought about that was that it came sort of out of nowhere, under the radar. There was no massive media, push for it. Sort of like, obviously I'm not a Villa fan, so I'm not entrailed in Villa's Twitter, but for me it certainly came a little bit under quiet, whereas whenever Everton are linked with a player, everyone knows about it, and and the other big one being
faking the nose and stuff, like announcing it before anything officials happens, and I think that takes the shine off them sometimes as well.
I agree. Sometimes it's just a bit. I mean, the keeper signing the other day was a bit of a shocker. That was quite an under the radar. That was a bit of a surprise. But they're not the type of players you want to be surprising your fans with. I don't think he'll play any games. To be honest, I think he's going to go through having 0 games played. Apparently we're after Lorenzo Insigne as well. I mean, Andries Mertens reportedly, who's 35. I don't see either of them happening, but this is a prime example. We are linked with every player under the sun in the media. Speculate that we're linked with anyone and everyone.
Personally, I think we need to put a stop to that. I know agents can do their bidding, but is there a way we as a club can stop rumours coming out? Maybe even if the manager comes out and shuts them down.
Yeah, I mean, because it's only going to add to the. I think that sort of sold us out in the Dumfries one. Is the fact that we were interested. It was reported. Obviously, not financially as well. We dawdled maybe a little bit too long. But the fact that we were linked with him before the Euros, and it was very highly, touted that we were after him before the Euros. He then has a good Euros, and all of a sudden Inter Milan are sort of really interested in him. So,
Yeah.
But I don't. I'm gonna say this, and but I don't think I fully want Mertens just because he's 35.
No, of course not. I don't
And
know
he's
he's good,
gonna
but he's not that good. Like,
no, and he will expect big wages.
you don't pay big wages to 35-year-old players.
No, I would sort of hope we swerve that one. Insigne's a little bit younger, but so maybe I'm a little bit more open to that. But the Dries Mertens one, I'm fully not convinced on. But yeah, a question, an interesting one I saw on Twitter though. So Richarlison is a well, basically through the middle. I just saw a lad tweet about it saying he hopes this is the end of this now. I quite like Richarlison, especially as a second striker. I quite like him down the middle compared to out wide. Just
I
wondered
do.
if yeah, it was. I mean, it was at Ryan Williams on Twitter. But he said he wants to see him cut in from the sides. But I don't think he's as involved enough out wide as he would be in the middle. I know he puts in the defensive work a little
He
bit
can get
better.
frustrated a bit out on the wing, can't he?
Yeah, especially when he's like sort of against. He can have a couple where fullbacks are hacking at him, and he gets a bit, a bit annoyed. At least in the middle, certainly with the fact that he gets fouled frequently. At least if he's doing it in the middle, they're going to be a bit more promising areas for free kicks as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
I think his running intelligence playing off Calvert-Lewin, because obviously it's very obvious Calvert-Lewin's the one you throw the long balls at and the crosses at, and then Richarlison can play off him. I think that suits the pair of them really well.
Oh yeah, I know. I thought, to be honest, Ancelotti did that when he first came in, and obviously Duncan Ferguson did it beforehand. I thought that was really suited our team. We just didn't have the midfield for it then. Whereas I think we're slightly closer to having that midfield now. Thinking Gray and Townsend, you've got bona fide wingers in Allen and Decore. You've got two centre midfield grafters. And
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what you need in a 4-4-2. Your midfielders have to graft, your wingers have to stay wide and provide service. We didn't have that personnel a year and a half ago when Ancelotti first took over. Obviously, he brought Decore and Allan in, and Benitez has brought the wingers in. And suddenly that looks more like a suitable midfield for a 4-4-2. So I would like to see a bit more of 4-4-2 this season.
same. I think it really suits us, and I think it gets the fans up as well, especially with this direct manner that we're playing in.
That's
We're
what we as
aggressive.
Everton fans want to see.
Yeah, aggressive, direct football. I mean, not as much Angelo, but when Ferguson did it, that was one of the things that really brought fans over. Was the amount of tackles we put in. I think that was one of the most tackles per game we've put in years, wasn't it? There's a stat flying around about how many tackles we made that game compared to previous, and I think that's what made Everton fans jump at it with such pleasure. It's
It
good
was
to see a
Everton
team.
football. It was proper battle football.
Yeah, it was socks up, get involved, get dug in, and I think that really does suit us, especially with a mix of direct as well, because we're winning it and then we're not messing around with it. And I don't think we've got the squad to be messing around on the ball too long. Certainly haven't got the back four. The back four, maybe the full backs could get away with it when they're a bit higher up, but there's two centre backs I don't think we've got for play out the back football.
No, even Godfrey, as good as he is, I don't think he's for that sort of purpose either. Is it?
No.
For us, it should be a case of just move the ball quickly. It really isn't rocket science.
No, and we've got so now anyway, at least we've got such better options out on the wings. Gray only needs a little bit of space, and he can really penetrate teams. So at least now, which is the other reason I don't think I want Richarlison back out wide, is you stick him out wide, and either Gray or maybe Townsend would have to go out. I'd be happy with just leaving those two out wide for this season. Maybe another right winger. Apparently the Dwight McNeil links haven't gone away completely. Who apparently had an all right game against Liverpool today, I've heard. And someone said what me, you, and Owen had said about it. They were like, I can't believe people think he's slow.
Yeah, I don't think he's not quick, but he's not mad slow either.
No, like don't get me wrong, he's not rapid, but I think some players you can get away with it. Someone said the other day about Riyad Mahrez looked like he wasn't fast anymore, and someone mentioned he never was. He's just very good at dribbling and creating spaces, so it makes him look deceivingly faster than he was. And I think Dwight McNeil's a bit like that. He knows how to move himself, that he makes himself look a bit more, get past the man. Which, to be honest, I'd be happy to just have a winger that can get past his man.
Yeah, exactly. I think having that in Demarai Gray is a start.
Yeah, like the pace and the able to get past your man's really good. But I mean, the Correa links, I think he put before he went that he's waiting for Inter Milan, so I think we know how that potentially is going to end.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah. Anyway, I think we'll end it there, though. So I just want to say thank you for coming on, James.
Yeah.
Having this discussion. It was. I think I'm okay with the result this weekend. I don't think it's going to, upset my week. I'll take it.
No, it was passable. I can live with it.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone that's been commenting and chatting to us. Don't forget to like the stream as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not, for more Everton news. And also, if you're looking to buy your new Everton kits, you can buy it from the Everton Direct store. The link's in the description for the videos. It does massively help out the channel. And yeah, most importantly, stay safe.